Remember, a Hallmark card will best express your perfect taste, your thoughtfulness. The makers of Hallmark greeting cards bring you an amusing story from the life of Mr. and Mrs. Cugat, starring Constance Bennett. For more than a third of a century, quality has been a habit with the people who create Hallmark cards. They have come to know the kind of cards you really want. That's why Hallmark cards are America's favorite greeting cards. The kind of cards you can be proud to send. That's why the words "a Hallmark card" on the back of the card you choose tell your friends you cared enough to send the very best. You can find Hallmark cards that say what you want to say the way you want to say it. So when you want to send the very finest, be sure to look in the back for the identifying words, "a Hallmark card." And now to preside over the Hallmark program this evening is a young man well known to Broadway both as actor and producer, Richard Calmer.
Thank you, Tom Shirley, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Up to now, there have been only three Constance Bennett. Constance Bennett, the actress, Constance Bennett, the producer, and Constance Bennett, the successful businesswoman. But if you've read the back cover of our current Reader's Digest, you know that the lovely Connie may any day now acquire a fourth personality, that of Constance Bennett, the researcher. Her initial researches consisted of a persistent burrowing into back issues, and she was spurred to this activity through having appeared some time ago on the Hallmark program. Well, she's back with us tonight, and goodness knows what fifth personality this appearance will evoke. All we can be sure of is that personality number 5 will be as interesting as the other 4, or as her performances always are. The Hallmark program proudly presents Mr. Cugat as Taken Sick by Isabel Scott Rorick and starring Constance Bennett, the actress. It's early morning, and in Mr. and Mrs. Cugat's bedroom, yellow slices of autumn sun are coming through the Venetian blinds. Mrs. Cugat stirs in her bed and stretches luxuriously. She opens her eyes, casts a casual glance at the other bed, and then sits bolt upright.
George, you're still here.
Am I?
But look at the time. It's 9 o'clock.
I know.
George, you aren't going to the office?
No, I'm sick.
Oh, darling. Let me feel your head.
It's hot.
Shall I call Dr. Buell?
Maybe you'd better.
Oh, I'll tell him to come right over. Anna, you stay in bed, dear. I'll be right back. Anna! Did you call me, Miss Cugat? Oh, Anna, Mr. Cugat is... Hello, operator. Give me Fernwood 560, please. Oh, Anna, Mr. Cugat isn't feeling well. Bring his breakfast upstairs, will you?
It's Friday. You know, I cleans on Friday.
Well, you'll just have to put it off until later. Mr. Cugat may be dangerously ill.
There's a lie. I hope it ain't nothing sexual.
Oh, and Anna, please take the cat downstairs. She always sits on the telephone and disconnects me. Nice, Lily. Go with Anna now. Oh, hello? Dr. Buell's office? This is Mrs. George Cugat, 23 Hazenhurst Drive. How soon can the doctor come over? No, I'm fine. It's my husband. That's right. Mr. Cugat. Well, all the time we've been married, he hasn't been sick for a minute. But now, from the looks of him, everything seems to have given way at once. Darling, aren't you going to eat your breakfast?
I'm not very hungry.
Oh, let me feel your head again.
It's still hot.
Oh, just the same, you ought to eat something. You think maybe you'd like a nice egg?
Maybe.
Oh, I'll go tell Anna. Oh, Lillian, are you back up here again? Anna! Anna!
Yes, Miss Cugat.
Mr. Cugat thinks he'd like a nice egg.
While I'm fixing the eggs, who's going to be running this vacuum cleaner?
Anna, dear, I told you the cleaning could wait. Strange as it may seem, Mr. Cugat is more important.
How does he want it?
How does he want what? Oh, the egg. Well, just a minute and I'll ask him. George, dear, how do you... George! George, where are you?
Sound like he's choking to death.
No, he's gargling.
You can't hardly tell the difference.
Well, you better make the egg soft-boiled, I think. It'll slide down his throat more easily.
A raw egg slides down easiest of all.
Now, Anna, it won't take 2 minutes to soft-boil an egg. Oh, I'd better get on the phone and cancel my appointment. Crestwood, 743, please.
Liz, where's my hunting sweater?
Your hunting sweater? George, if you think I'm going to let you go out hunting when you're...
I'll wear it over my pajamas. I'm cold.
Oh, well, that's different. It's in the... Oh, hello. Is this the beauty parlor? This is Mrs. Cugat. I'm terribly sorry, but I'll have to cancel my appointment. My husband is ill, yes. George, your sweater's in the...
All right, Liz, I found it.
Oh, good. Now, please go back to bed, dear. I'll be right in. Center 692, please.
Liz, will you get me the heating pad?
Yes, dear, in a minute. Hello. Is Mrs. Ramsey there? Oh, then will you please tell her that Mrs. Cugat will not be able to help at the rummage sale this afternoon? Tell her my husband is very ill. Thank you.
Liz, better get the hot water bottle, too.
Right away, darling. Oh, dear. Hello? Oh, yes, Mother. I was just going to call you. George is very sick.
Liz.
Well, I don't know, but he feels just awful, so please don't bring Cousin Melba to tea. Yes, dear, I know she came all the way from Cincinnati. But if George has something contagious, Cousin Melba might carry it back to Cincinnati and start an epidemic. Oh, Mother, he's calling me. I've got to hang up. I'll call you later. Yes, darling, I'm coming. I'll bring you the heating pad and the hot water bottle.
And an ice bag.
An ice bag? How can you want a hot water bottle and an ice bag at the same time?
My feet are cold and my head is hot.
Dear, I wish Dr. Buell would get here.
Mrs. Cugat!
I'm down here in the downstairs closet looking for Mr. Cugat's heavy woolen scarf. Did you take him his egg, Anna?
Yes, I wouldn't eat it neither.
He wouldn't? No. Oh, Anna, I'm afraid he's really very sick.
When men refuse food, that don't mean they're sick. That means they die.
Mercy. Look out the window again and see if Dr. Buell is coming.
Yes, he sure better hurry and get here, or the undertaker will beat him to it.
Oh, Lillian, I'm sorry. I didn't see you. Oh, Lillian, I'm frightened. He's never been sick before, never. And now, supposing it's something serious. Supposing he doesn't get well.
Goodbye, Liz. You must be brave. Remember, I loved you till the last. Goodbye, old George. Cut down in the prime of life.
He looks very happy and peaceful.
George always did look well in a cutaway.
Oh, George, darling, don't leave me.
Good morning, Mrs. Cugat.
Oh, Doctor, thank goodness you've come.
Off again, please. Again, please. Again, please. All right, that's enough.
Oh, Doctor, is it serious?
Well, Mrs. Cugat, It's all right now. You don't have to wait until you get out of the room to tell us. Give it good straight. What have I got? A cold.
Is that all? I mean, he seems so sick.
Nothing to worry about. Better keep him home for a day or so. See that he gets plenty of rest, stays out of drafts, drinks lots of liquid. Well, I'm glad it's nothing worse. Goodbye, Cugat. Oh, goodbye, Doc. Thanks a lot.
Oh, Doctor, I can't tell you how you've relieved my mind. I thought he was dying.
Have these tablets made up for him to take every hour and make him gargle with salt water.
No, I'll take very good care of him. Now that I know it's nothing serious, it'll be fun.
Call me tomorrow and let me know how he feels. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Doctor. Thank you. Anna!
Grandmother's going to take him to the hospital.
There's nothing the matter with him except a cold.
Just a cold.
Mm-hmm.
Lord, if that man acted like he had double ammonia.
I'm going over to the drugstore and get his pill. On my way back, I'll get him a new detective story. He'd like that. And then there'll be just enough time for me to get my hair done after all.
Well, what about lunch?
Well, ask him what sounds good to him and fix it. I'll be back at 1. Oh, and when Zelda comes to do the ironing, tell her to be very quiet. Mr. Cugat will probably be sleeping.
Oh, Mrs. Cugat, hello.
Why, hello, Zelda. Are you, coming or going?
Going. I'll be going by A&P store.
The A&P? What for?
Anna, she sent me to buy a nice steak.
Oh, I see. And what else did Mr. Cugat order for lunch?
French fries, vegetable soup, and chocolate cake homemade. Poor sick man. He's be hungry.
Yes, he must be. Zelda, what about the ironing?
Because the fuse is no ironing. Mr. Cugat, he's to fix his lamps together and fix the fuse he blows. Now it's be no light, no hot iron.
Oh, dear.
I can't understand why none of those spare fuses would work.
George, please eat your lunch, dear. Anna fixed everything you asked for. She even baked this beautiful chocolate cake.
Do you think maybe if I tried switching them around?
Darling, if you go in that basement again, you're liable to become really ill.
It's getting gray and nasty outside, Liz. We can't get along without any electricity.
I've already phoned the electrician. He ought to be here any minute. George, dear, what were you doing with all those lamps in the library?
Oh, I started to clean my shotguns over near the wood box, but there wasn't enough light.
Well, why did you have to clean your guns over near the wood box?
It's out of draft.
Oh, I see.
So I hitched up a chain of 3 or 4 lamps, attached them to each other by the plugs. I don't see why I blew all the fuses out.
Oh, be quiet, Lillian. George, darling, you're not eating.
Oh, it's funny, but nothing has any taste.
Oh, dear, and after you made Anna go to all that trouble, she'll be furious.
Might as well be eating straw. There's no use trying to force myself.
I guess I'd better eat your portion before she comes in. Pass the plate, dear. All right, Lillian, you can have his chocolate cake. That's a good kitty. Eat it all up and don't tell Anna.
My, Mr. Cugat must be feeling better already. He certainly ate a hearty lunch.
Yes, didn't I? Didn't he? Anna, Mr. Cugat and I are going to spend the whole afternoon in front of the fire. You know, it's nice having him home.
Not for me. Every time I go to dust the table, Mr. Cugat is under it.
Well, he'll be out of your way now. He's probably too tired to do anything but just sit and read. I'm going into the library now. For heaven's sake, who opened those windows? George, where are you?
Out here.
George Cugat, are you mad? What are you doing out on that balcony?
Looking for Lillian. Funny, she disappeared like that.
Lillian? George, don't tell me you let Lillian out.
Oh, well, only for a minute. She ought to get more exercise. She's getting fat.
But, darling, you know we never let her out alone. She acts like a perfect idiot. Streaks across the street in front of cars and eats garbage and gets stuck up in trees. Oh, dear, I'd better go right out and hunt for her.
Constance Bennett will be back in just a moment for the second act of tonight's Hallmark drama from the pages of the Reader's Digest, America's favorite magazine. Now, here's Dick Coleman.
And Mrs. Cugat thought it was going to be fun to have Mr. Cugat home with a cold. She's going to enjoy nursing her George less and less, but then Mr. Cugat is too sick. But when a person is really sick, any little attention means so much. That's why it's so important to remember your friends when they are ill. You can cheer a sick friend so easily with a Hallmark Get Well card. You see, Hallmark Get Well cards with their clever verses are designed to bring a chuckle, and that's always good medicine. Do you have a friend who is ill? Well, don't let another day go by without sending him a Hallmark Get Well card to cheer him up. Just picture your friend eagerly opening the envelope, chuckling over his clever Hallmark card, thinking how thoughtful it was of you to remember. You know, it's little things like remembering a sick friend with a Hallmark card that means so much. That's why those you remember will never forget.
You're right, Dick. And when you remember friends with Hallmark greeting cards, there is that extra satisfaction in knowing you are sending the very best. You see, for more than a third of a century, quality has been a habit with the people who create Hallmark cards. That's why Hallmark cards have become America's favorite greeting cards. The word "a Hallmark card" on the back of the card you send tells those you remember that you cared enough to choose the very best. That's why it's so important to look in the back of the card you choose for those identifying words, "a Hallmark card." You can find a Hallmark card in America's finest shops and stores. There's one near you, so stop in tomorrow. Ask for a Hallmark Get Well card for your sick friend. As Dick Coleman said a minute ago, it's little things, like remembering a sick friend with a Hallmark card, that mean so much. That's why those you remember will never forget.
After searching up and down the streets for hours, Mrs. Cugat finally found her cat Lillian hunched on top of a telephone pole. It took a half an hour to coax Lillian down, and by the time Mrs. Cugat limped back to her house, she was weary and hoarse.
And help me, Lily. If you ever do this again, I'll let you stay low. Goodness. I wonder who left the front door open.
I guess maybe I did.
Why, are you, waiting to see me?
Not exactly. Hey, lady, your cat is being sick.
What? Oh, Lily.
Maybe she ate something didn't agree with her.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Stop the cake. Better do something about this before Anna comes out here.
Chocolate? Who would be dumb enough to feed a cat chocolate cakes?
Yes. Did you want something?
Yeah, I am Harry Hirsch. I'm buying old clothes. The boss is getting me some out from the storeroom.
The storeroom?
Mm-hmm.
Why, it must be 10 below zero up there. George, you ought to be near the fireplace. It's too cold in the storeroom, darling. George! Well, for goodness sakes, is everybody up here?
Hello, Liz. Anna and Bill are helping me look for that striped suit I used to have.
Not much call for stripes.
Oh, hello there, Mr. Hirsch. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Oh, it's all right. I thought I might as well come up, too.
Certainly. Why should he be the only one not in the storeroom? Anna, what are you doing?
This is the last sealed up mouse bag that we didn't unseal. Mr. Cugat thought maybe his striped suit was in it.
Well, it isn't. I gave it to the clothing center 2 years ago.
Hey, Liz, see what Felder found? My old Navy uniform. And look, it still fits me.
No collar though for uniform.
He looks very nice, Mr. Cugat. Just like Van Johnson.
Oh, thank you, Felder.
Well, don't look now, Van, but you're spilling mothballs all over the floor.
Oh.
Mr. Hirsch, there's no use you're looking at that overcoat. It's one of Mr. Cugat's best ones.
Yeah, a small size and plenty worn. I'll give you $1.50 for it.
George, you simply must come downstairs. There's no heat up here, dear.
$1.50 is a very nice price.
Look, Mr. Hirsch, will you go away if I sell you this nice checked golf suit?
$2 including the overcoat.
What? You mean only 50 cents for the suit?
No call at all for change.
Oh, George, you're sneezing. All right, Mr. Hirsch. Just let's get out of this icebox and go downstairs before Mr. Cugat catches pneumonia.
Liz,
In a minute, dear, I'm getting your pills.
where are my skis?
Your skis?
Yeah, well, as long as I had nothing else to do, I'd wax them.
George, you're supposed to be resting.
I can wax them sitting down. Say, where's my fishing rod? I want to fix that reel.
Darling, will you just lie down on the couch and relax? I'm coming with your pills. Now be a good boy and... George, what are you doing up on that ladder?
Have you any idea what's happened to my law school book? I distinctly remember putting them on the top shelf of this bookcase.
George, I've never even seen your law school book. Now, please come down.
Hey, doesn't anybody ever think to clean up here? It's positively filthy. Look at that dust.
George, will you please come down off that ladder?
By the way, what did you ever do with my good camera? The lens needs polishing, and I could...
You could take your pills. Here.
Oh, there's the doorbell.
Yes, dear. Anna will answer it. Swallow your pills.
Okay. No, I think I'll sit down. Funny, I'm weak as a kitten.
Mr. Cartwright and Mr. Sturm are here to see Mr. Cugat.
They are. Good old Corey. Good old Holly. Tell them to come in here, Anna.
But, darling, if you feel as weak as a kitten, perhaps you'd better not sit.
Hello, how's the invalid?
Oh, they finally got you down, did they, George?
Down, but not out.
Anna, you better get some ice cubes and soda.
You know I didn't get even half my cleaning done, and dinner's on the stove.
Well, I'm sure they won't stay long. They realize Mr. Cugat's sick. They look so fit and hearty. They make poor Mr. Cugat seem sort of frail sitting there in his old bathrobe with his hair sticking up.
Maybe needs a haircut.
You know, I think I'll phone Dr. Buell and ask him to drop in again tonight. Then you know what I'm going to do?
No.
I'm going to take a bath.
Yes.
We'll have dinner as soon as the gentleman leaves. If I'm still in the tub, knock on the door and I'll be down in 3 minutes. This feels good. Oh, heavens, but I'm tired. We'll go to bed right after dinner. Oh, that pine oil smells divine. I could stay here forever.
Miss Cugat?
Yes, Anna? Have the gentleman left?
No, Mr. Cugat asked him to stay to dinner.
What? Oh, no.
And all we got is leftovers.
All right, I'll be right out. Is Zelda still here?
Yes, I'm just leaving.
Well, send it to the A&P for another steak, some lettuce and tomatoes and a quart of drugstore ice cream. And tell her to hurry. The sooner we eat, the earlier they'll go home. I'm sorry dinner was so late, boys. It leaves so little time left for talking.
Oh, that's all right, Liz. We were planning to leave early anyway. Say, Georgie, did I tell you about the argument I had with the head waiter at the Ambassador about wild turkey?
No, Corey, I don't think so.
Well, the last time we dropped in there for dinner, wild turkey was on the menu. Now, I don't pretend to know everything about food, but I do know how to prepare wild turkey. Believe it or not, there was the pro telling Bill to use the wrong glove. Now, I don't pretend to be a golf champion, but I do know when to use a brassy and...
Excuse me, Corey, but do you have the right time?
Yes, it's 9:30.
I asked only because I'm waiting for the doctor. He'll probably expect to find George in bed. You know how doctors are.
Oh, nonsense. I'm as strong as a lion. Go on, Corey.
Oh, well, anyway, I said as much to the pro, and instead of being grateful, the big oaf at the nurse... I don't pretend to know everything about football, but I do know plenty about strategy. And when I saw the coach, I told him...
Goodness, I wonder if Dr. Buell is ever coming. It must be almost 10:30.
You're right, Liz. 10:30 on the nose.
Doctors are so busy these days, they probably won't show up till midnight.
Midnight? Boy, do you think George looks just a little tired?
Oh, don't be silly, Liz. I'm as fresh as a daisy. Say, Corey, you remind me of the time I ran 85 yards for a touchdown. Our team was undefeated, but in this game against... What's the matter, Liz? Why are you holding your head?
Oh, no special reason, darling.
Oh, well, as I was saying...
Oh, that must be Dr. Buell. It must be.
Well, we'll be going. It was a swell evening, but everything comes to an end.
Now, try to remember that.
Good night, fellas. And listen, if I'm still laid up, why don't we do this again tomorrow night? Say, Doc, did I ever tell you about the time I ran 85 yards for a touchdown?
I want to have a look at your ears, please.
What?
Darling, the doctor wants to look at your ears.
Oh, sure. Go ahead. Well, anyway, there I was at the end of the third quarter. The score tied, the crowds yelling.
They were off.
Dr. Buell, how is he?
Well, young lady, you're a pretty good nurse.
I am?
Yes, you'll be well enough to go to the office tomorrow.
What?
Well, what do you know?
Oh, doctor, that's wonderful. That's simply love.
Hey, she's fainting. But, Doc, I'm the one who was sick. Why should she faint?
Utter exhaustion. Here, I think she's coming out of it now. How do you feel, Mrs. Cugat?
Will I live?
I think so. Providing you stay in bed all day tomorrow.
She will. I'm going to stay home and see that she does.
What did you say?
Tomorrow, I'm going to take care of you.
George, you mean you're going to be home another whole day?
Of course.
Oh, doctor, please order me a room at the hospital. I think I'm going to have a nervous breakdown.
Wonderful, Connie. You made Mrs. Cugat sound like the woman next door.
Mrs. Cugat is the woman next door, Dick. That's why she's so real to so many people, and that's why I enjoyed being Mrs. Cugat tonight.
The pleasure was all ours. And now, because the General Assembly of the United Nations is meeting in America for the first time, we would like it very much if you'd read for our audience Archibald MacLeish's poem, The Young Dead Soldiers.
I'll be glad to, Dick. The young dead soldiers do not speak. Nevertheless, they are heard in the still houses. Who has not heard them? They have a silence that speaks for them at night. And when the clock counts, they say, "We were young. We have died. Remember us." They say, "We've done what we could. But until it is finished, it is not done." They say, "We have given our lives. But until it is finished, no one can know what our lives gave." They say, "Our deaths are not ours. They are yours. They will mean what you make them." They say, whether our lives and our deaths were for peace and a new hope or for nothing, we cannot say. It is you who must say this. They say, "We leave you our deaths. Give them their meaning. Give them an end to the war and a true peace. Give them a victory that ends and war and a peace afterwards. Give them their meaning." We were young, they say. We have died. Remember us.
Thank you again, Constance Bennett.
This is Tom Shirley speaking for the makers of Hallmark greeting cards and reminding you that you can find Hallmark cards that say what you want to say the way you want to say it. Remember, when you want to send a card that means more, be sure to look on the back of the card you choose for the identifying words, "A Hallmark card." For more than a third of a century, those three identifying words, "A Hallmark card," have meant the finest in greeting cards.
You are cordially invited to be with us again next week at the same time for another fine dramatic program brought to you by the makers of Hallmark greeting cards, America's favorite greeting card. At that time, you'll hear a tough, tender story of America as told by one of America's great writers. Our Hallmark drama comes from The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck, and our star comes from Hollywood, Claire Trevor.
Bennett may currently be seen in the 20th Century Fox Technicolor musical, Centennial Summer. Mr. and Mrs. Cugat was dramatized by Priscilla Kent from the Reader's Digest, America's favorite magazine. The Hallmark program was directed by Mark Loeb, with music especially composed by Jack Miller. Remember, a Hallmark card will best express your perfect taste, your thoughtfulness. The Columbia Broadcasting System.
This is the WBBM Air Theater, Wrigley Building, Chicago.